People love blaming their empty wallet on expenses, but the truth is way uglier. You're not broke because you spend. You're broke because you move money without knowing what it means. Seneca said ignorance creates fear, and in money it creates poverty. Psychology shows the brain makes impulsive choices long before you realize what you're doing. Stick around, because here we break down money with real philosophy and real psychology. If you actually follow the channel instead of scrolling your life away, you might finally learn how to get rich on purpose instead of by accident. Most people grow up thinking money disappears because life is expensive. The bills, the food, the random little things that pop up. It feels logical to blame expenses because expenses are visible. What isn't visible is the knowledge you never learned. That's the real leak. People aren't broke because they spend. They're broke because they don't understand money, value, or decision-making. It sounds harsh, but the truth normally is, money is not just paper or digits. It's a tool. If you don't understand a tool, you misuse it. If you misuse it, you break things instead of building them. Most people use money emotionally instead of intelligently. They spend first and think later. Psychology explains this. The brain makes impulse choices long before logic wakes up. When you see something you want, your brain fires a reward signal, and the body chases the feeling. That's not financial planning. That's chemical addiction disguised as spending. Understanding money begins with understanding value. Value is not the price of something. Value is how something improves your life, your skills, your future, or your stability. A cheap product that breaks after a week has no value. A course that upgrades your skills might cost more but holds real value. A device that saves you time has value. A night of showing off has price, not value. People confuse the two. They buy price, they ignore value, and then wonder why they stay stuck. Decision-making is the final disaster zone. Most people make money decisions based on mood, not math. If they're bored, they buy. If they're sad, they buy. If they're pressured, they buy. If their friends spend, they copy. And every wrong decision drains them a little more. They never learn to ask the basic questions that build wealth. Does this help me? Does this grow something? Does this protect something? Does this improve something? When someone truly understands money, they shift from spending to allocating. They stop reacting and start planning. They know every rupee must have a job. Some money grows. Some money protects. Some money builds skills. Some money keeps life moving. Once you understand that, expenses stop being an enemy. They become part of a controlled system. But without this understanding, even a high income won't save you. There are people earning 10 times more than you who are still broke because they make 10 times bigger mistakes. And there are people with average income who build real wealth because they make smarter choices. The difference isn't the amount, it's the knowledge. People stay broke not because life is unfair, but because they walk through it blindfolded. They avoid learning how money works. They ignore the psychology behind their decisions. They never study value. They never question their behavior, and the results reflect that. Money follows understanding. Money stays where it is respected. Money grows where it is directed with clarity and discipline. Without knowledge, every rupee escapes. With knowledge, even small money becomes powerful. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, once emphasized that ignorance is the root of fear. This idea, though ancient, applies directly to the world of finance. Ignorance breeds poverty. Every unexpected expense triggers panic because they do not know how to respond. They feel trapped, believing that wealth is unattainable or that financial stability is simply a matter of luck. Seneca's philosophy suggests that knowledge is the antidote to fear. Similarly, understanding money transforms anxiety into confidence. Psychology plays a critical role here. Human beings are wired for immediate gratification. The limbic system activates almost immediately when we perceive an opportunity for gain or pleasure. Dopamine floods the system. At this moment, the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for rational thinking, has barely started processing the decision. As a result, many financial choices are made impulsively, driven by feelings rather than facts. Most people spend money not as a tool to create long-term value, but as a way to momentarily feel better. Spending can feel like a solution to stress, boredom, or insecurity. Yet these gaps are rarely filled by material items. The sense of satisfaction is fleeting, and soon another purchase is needed to chase the same feeling. True financial growth comes from directing money toward value, not comfort. This means investing. in knowledge, skills, assets, or opportunities that compound over time. Unlike emotional spending, these choices build security, freedom, and wealth. Real wealth begins not with desire, but with understanding. Wealthy individuals understand that money is not merely for enjoyment, it is a tool for building freedom, options, and security. Investing is often misunderstood as a form of magic. The truth, however, is far simpler and far more reliable. Investing is knowledge, patience, and discipline. Knowledge is the first step. Without knowledge, investing becomes gambling. Patience is the second key element. Real investing is a long-term game. Wealth grows gradually, often over years or decades, through the compounding of returns. Discipline is the final piece. Even with knowledge and patience, investing without discipline can be disastrous. Discipline counteracts emotional mistakes, panic selling during downturns, or chasing hot investments during hype. Together, knowledge, patience, and discipline transform investing from a gamble into a reliable wealth-building tool. This channel dives deep into the philosophy, psychology, and practical strategies behind building real wealth. Following this channel means learning not just how to make money, but how to think about it, manage it, and grow it intentionally. This isn't about quick fixes or flashy tips, it's about cultivating a mindset and skill set that lasts a lifetime, making wealth a product of knowledge, discipline, and self-awareness rather than luck or impulse.